the list together for people. Because like we talked about, people want instant gratification. They want an easy button.
Yeah.
They want the easy button. So you have to give them the easy button. If we really want this to stick, we're sitting out here, we're saying this, and this is great. I love the conversation. And I think that we're going to get, some people are going to hear it, but also they're going to be like, where do I start? Are they going to, okay, what list is that? What food should I eat? People don't even know that there's those things out there.
Yeah.
Nobody's heard it before. You don't know if your parents haven't done it, what foods to not eat. So that's going off on a tangent, but we may come back to that in a different podcast.
For sure.
Like, list out all the things. Maybe while Spencer's cooking, you can be there telling them what to eat,
Absolutely.
What to put in it, what not to put in it. So let's move to this other one, though, because this is right along the thing. The reality of healing takes time. So along with this thing, just like the taking time to do the food prepping, the healing process of, once we know, and we're all inflamed. We didn't get unhealthy overnight, and we're not going to get healthy overnight as well. Like, it's going to take a process and a time, like we talked about with the peptides that we take. Everything is, at least 90 days for a 72-day turnover. Like, it takes time for our body to do what it did. Only God created us in an instant. Everything else,
takes time.
He takes time and wants us to work.
Well, it takes our blood vessels. It takes 120 days for your body to completely turn over. 120 days to completely turn over everything.
All new blood.
And so, that's why I tell people with any type of supplement, anything you're taking, anything you're doing, even food, even exercise, give yourself a solid 120 days to really feel the effects of what's happening. Because once you hit that 120 days, that's when you're going to start seeing the most results, you're going to start feeling, just getting that good feeling back.
Yeah. So that's good. So when you pushed it to 120, because, we all preach 90 days, but...
I mostly preach 90 days, but I also let people know the magic really happens at 120 days. Yeah.
Nice to know. Yeah. I wish I would have kept better documentation of when I really felt great.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's kind of like, but it is such a gradual thing. Like we talked, gradually, it's changing gradually until you finally like, wow, I'm sleeping better. Wow, I feel better when I wake up. My God, I don't have a swollen gut or, feel bad that way.
Well, I drive like 40,000+ miles a year in my truck. I travel a lot for my job. And one of the things I suffered with for years was sciatic pain. I would get that shooting pain down my leg all the time. It was miserable. I'd wake up in the morning, get out of bed. I'd stumble my first couple steps, and I have no idea when, but sometime in the last year, I noticed, I'm like, oh my gosh, my sciatic pain is gone.
Gone. You don't have it.
And I can contribute it to the, to the BPPs, or I can contribute it to eating healthy and exercising and taking care of my body, but it's all pushing into that health and wellness, making better choices for my health.
Yeah.
And,
it is great that it's all, it's kind of like we wish we'd have known when it was so we could exactly say which thing, but it wasn't just one thing.
Yeah.
It's the combination of
100%.
things that's doing it. It's not just the one, I took this one pill and it made it better.
Yep.
No, not the thing. We want to talk about that foundation. Like we said, it's just, we didn't get unhealthy overnight and we're not going to get healthy, but there is a foundation of things like we're kind of started talking about already. We cannot ignore sleep, food, movement, muscle. Movement and muscle kind of can go together if you ask me, but not really. And I'll kind of say why I feel like that or could be two different things. But if somebody's struggling with mental or physical anything, disruptions in any kind of way, those three things, four, if you want to say muscle, movement and muscle are separate, those four things to me are the foundation of where you should start.
100%.
Address those three. Poor sleep, processing food, no movement, no resistance with your body movements to get those muscles moving. Absolutely. Then we're end up in those problems. So you like talking about these. So let's talk about those.
Sleep to me, people say sleep is a pillar of health. And I actually want to change that because I truly, truly believe sleep is the foundation of health. Everything happens in your sleep. Your muscles aren't built in the gym. Your muscles are built when you're sleeping, period. Your mental health, if you're not getting enough REM sleep is where all of your mental cleaning is done. Your brain is cleaned and exactly the lymphatic system is cleaning during those sleep cycles and getting all those sticky proteins and all the waste products from just thinking and functioning all day out of your body. And then same with deep. Your deep sleep is in charge of your actual healing. Crazy fact, your gut actually turns over its lining every 3 to 5 days. Okay. And so if you're not eating enough, you're not sleeping enough, your gut is not getting enough nutrients and it's not able to turn itself over. And what happens is it actually turns into what's called leaky gut. I'm sure you've heard of that before, right?
Leaky gut. Most people
Well, a lot of people have it, especially with our diet nowadays of all the processed foods. It creates inflammation in the gut, which doesn't allow it to do its thing. And when we have leaky gut, it leads to metabolic issues. It leads to autoimmune issues, brain to gut function issues, and all sorts of problems. And so sleep is really where all the healing happens and all the magic really to, our emotional system and just prepare. And so sleep is like hands down. We were talking about it earlier, the phones. One of the things that I've changed that has made a massive difference in my sleep is my phone. I am a doom scroller and I've gotten so much better at it, but I stopped. I'm like, all right, Mark, no phone like past 7 o'clock. Okay, I say 8 o'clock at the latest, but 7 o'clock, I try to shut it off because that stimulation of the blue light, of the doom scrolling, the dopamine, all that stuff, it stimulates your central nervous system. You want your central nervous system to come down before you go to bed.
Yeah.
So really, I tell people, work on unplugging, as boring as it might be, read a book. What we like to do with the family, we all curl up in bed and we play Uno.
Oh, cute.
And so we
played Uno in a few years.
I know. I'm telling you, we got back from the Orlando trip, and I bought the Disney Orlando cards for my girls. I mean, the Disney Uno cards for my girls. And so we play it probably 4 out of 5 nights a week. We try to play, a couple hands at night. And so just bringing that nervous, really relaxing and getting out of the stimulation, it just makes a difference. And I'll tell you, I struggled with REM. I couldn't get 20, 30, 40 minutes of REM. I mean, I was lucky if I got 40 minutes of REM a night. And even with taking some of the peptides to help, I still couldn't get past 40. And once I started protecting my sleep and removing some of those external stimulation type, factors, I'm getting like last night I got an hour and 45 REM last night.
Yeah. So jealous.
I don't ever, and so since I've changed some of this stuff, it's made such a massive difference. So
inflammation,
sleep, man, I'm telling you, it is where it starts, and then I think the next biggest thing is really it's the inflammation.
Yeah.
When you can remove the inflammation and protect sleep, that's where I think that's.
If we should say one that somebody could start it. They're like, this is so overwhelming. Where should I start? Sleep.
Yes,
for sure.
Sleep, and then inflammation is a close second.
And then we'll do second. Yeah, let's get rid of that.
Definitely a close second. And then, there's things you can, obviously take to help. You can do things like turmeric. There's, peptides that can help with it as well. Mm-hmm. But I tell people, really, a lot of it starts with your diet. It really does. There's so many things we don't realize that stress our systems. That even just excess stress from work, creates oxidative stress on the cells, and inflammation just makes it so the cells can't communicate. If the cells can't communicate, they can't regulate our body, they can't regulate hormones properly, and you just get so much dysregulation when you're full of chronic inflammation. And so
a lot of times I didn't think of stress in a way that I realized my cortisol was just out of the roof, and I have a stressful job. To me, it wasn't that it was stressful, but it wasn't like that, but it's just mentally, I was thinking constantly when I was doing dentistry, it's physically stressful on your body. It's hurting. So I was doing some triathlons and I was like, this was so great. Like I would get on my bike and I would just ride and I would get off and run. I'd have to swim in the morning. Did not like jumping in cold water.
Been there, done that.
Totally busted up my cortisol because I'd be like, I'm going to drown. But I thought I was doing a good job of like de-stressing. And actually my body thought I was running from a tiger. So the stress continued and actually escalated, where mentally I thought I was mentally I felt better because mentally I was like, okay, got rid of the day. Like I moved to like, let's do this exercise. This is good. So there are times and things that we think we are doing good that we're actually harming ourselves too. So I still think it's good to kind of sit back and say, like, if you're still struggling, where is your sleep?
Right.
Oh, people tell me I sleep good. I usually say I can probably venture to tell you that you don't. that you might sleep good, but you may not be getting restorative sleep. Like, let's talk about these things, and you tell me these things, and I can probably pinpoint. Because it was the same way. I was like, I sleep great. I sleep great. I wake up snoozing and pissy and like,
That used to be me. I used to wake up and you can ask my wife. I'd be like, baby, do not talk to me until I've had my coffee. Leave me alone. No questions, no nothing. Like,
so it's because we're all clogged, right? Like we're not filtering. So until I started taking the Restore peptide, did I really realize like, oh man, I wake up really good. So I don't call it my sleep peptide. I call it my wake up focus peptide, really. That focus again in the morning, like I'm like ready to go. Yeah. My only problem is I need to do better at, like closing it down at night, because I've just been so used to working all day, and then I would work my second jobs and do things at night. So then my sleep cycle is gotten out of, my circadian rhythm.
Yeah, circadian rhythm, yep.
Circadian rhythm and the cycle of not going to bed early enough. So when you say that you take your phone off, I want to go back to that because this is good. You take your phone off at 7, you play Uno with the kids until like what time? And then what time?
Between 7:30 we usually play, and then, usually about 8 o'clock we're laying in bed. Sometimes we might throw on like a funny TV show, but like it has to be funny, it has to be light, and that's not very often, but just every now and then, if we're still not tired. But we try to just wind down, and then between 8 and 9 o'clock, sometimes Uno doesn't start till 8, so it's somewhere between 7 and 8. Kids, they don't always let you do everything on a time frame, but bed's usually between 8 and 9. I'm pretty strict about that because I'm up at 5 o'clock every single day. It doesn't matter if I go to bed at 1, I'm up at 5.
Really? So you just automatically wake up?
Brain is just bam. It's just there. I don't even have to set an alarm. It's just used to that, and that's what it does.